Oh man, next week is my drop the kids off in Laurel, go to the beach for 4 days.
Oh yeah.
Such a good time. Last year I was like, ooh, this is so long. 4 nights with no kids is going to be amazing. This year I'm like, it's not long enough. I could really use like 5 or 6 or 7 nights.
Howdy, it's Monday, August 4th, 2025, and this is episode 259 of Due for a Win, the Atlantic City podcast. I'm Kyle Askin, joined, as always, by Craig Stone. What's good, Craig?
I'm starting to get the mailers from Wind Creek. They just send a new mailer like every single day.
Yeah, there's definitely casinos like that. Frankly, it annoys me half the time.
Surely this is not a net positive for them to send out this many mailers.
Postage isn't cheap.
Right. But the latest, separate mailers, $65 slot play through the end of August, $10 food credit, which your guess was $10, but I think your guess was $10 free play.
Yeah, yes, it was.
And free dinner for 2 at the Chop House at Wind Creek.
When are we going? When are you taking me to the Chop House?
It's a good question. I think you'd like that casino a lot, I have to say. It's fairly nice. It's got a lot of tables. It's got some good slots. It's like nice in there.
I mean, I literally have stuff every weekend between now and the 25th.
You're right.
No.
In my head, I was like, my in-laws could take the kids for an evening, and Andrew and I could go get a steak. But that's not going to happen between now and the end of August.
Andrew is not working, right? You could maybe do it during the week or something. Go on a Thursday or
maybe
something like that. You should do it.
$65 slot play was definitely more than I was expecting.
It's not nothing.
So I was like, ooh, that's maybe enough to get me to head out there if I had a random day, which I don't think I'm gonna.
I saw a lot of advertisements for a Wind Creek Casino. I guess they have one in Chicago when I was just there.
Oh, really?
Weekend, just there yesterday. What? Yeah, I think so.
I thought there was only one Wind Creek. Now my mind is blown.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Wind Creek advertisements. Wind Creek, Chicago, Southland, Wind Creek Casino.
What? There's also locations in Altmore. I don't know what state.
Not to be confused with Baltimore.
That's in. Oh, no, Atmore. Not Altmore. Atmore.
Altimore.
And Wetumpka. Atmore is Alabama.
Okay.
And Wetumpka is Alabama. So 2 locations in Alabama.
Chicago and Bethlehem.
And yeah, 1 in Chicago. That's quite odd.
Yep. Saw plenty of Wind Creek. Thought of you.
Yeah. So you didn't make it, though, because you had the kid.
I didn't make it, yeah. I had a child. Saw the Orioles win.
You got to see their only win of that series.
Yep. I mean, I hear the Cubs are quite good and the Orioles are quite bad, so.
They did play 3 competitive games, I have to say.
Quite lucky for me, I feel like, to see a win there.
That's true.
It's a fun stadium. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I think I've been 3 times.
Nice. Have you seen the Orioles there?
Yeah, one of those 3 times was Orioles.
I enjoyed it a lot. Have you been to Fenway? I haven't been to Fenway.
No.
That's the other stadium from that era.
Paul went this year, Memorial Day weekend, but I didn't go.
Yeah, I should go.
We have Would You Rather.
Okay.
Which I was sort of thinking about because of this most recent trip where we had comps at Harrah's or could pay a little bit of money for Borgata, although it was more than what I'm about to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what your answer is going to be. But would you rather stay in a comped West or Chelsea Tower room at Tropicana or pay $100 to stay in any other room in AC, like a basic room, not Nobu Suite?
Okay, am I like going by myself?
Yeah, this is for just you. Just thinking of your own needs and wants. Are you taking a comp just because it's comped, or are you paying $100 for a little bit of something a little bit nicer?
I think there's a big difference between West and Chelsea. I think I'd probably just stay in West because I don't really care. I don't think I would stay in Chelsea, though.
So you'd pay $100 instead of staying in Chelsea?
Yes.
Does West rank higher than Forum for you at Caesars?
I haven't been to West in a while. I mean, I've stayed in West. Probably it's the room type I've stayed in the most in Atlantic City because there was a time before they got bought by Caesars that every trip I was staying in Tropicana in the West Tower.
Feel like that?
Probably yes.
West over Forum?
Caesars is a much better location than Tropicana, but Caesars itself, the property, is not great.
Yep.
And like I prefer Tropicana. It's close. I think I would rather stay in West, especially now because it's been so long since I've stayed in West.
Okay, so one more. $50 plus fees for Havana or comped Chelsea Tower?
Havana. Yeah, no question. Like, that's not even close.
That's actually, I think, a realistic thing you could see. Like, you log in, you see Chelsea's the only thing comped.
But $49 for Havana?
I think that's realistic.
Yeah, I would stay in Havana.
I agree with all that.
For $50, I'd stay in Havana, South or North before I stayed in a comp Chelsea Tower.
I've been trying to be better about convincing myself when I look at the rates that, I'd rather spend $100 to stay at Borgata.
In my experience, it's usually pretty rare that you can pay like $50 to get into a better room type, though. Usually I feel like you have comps and then you have stuff that's like 100 or 150 plus.
More recently, yeah, it seems like that's the case. I think even a year ago, it was pretty common on this user's site that it would be comped or not 29, but 59 or 69 or something like that, especially with the different Harrah's towers. Now, you're right. It seems like it's comped Chelsea West and then Havana's 129 or something like that, right?
I would say even in the past, I feel like I'd very rarely see paid rooms that were under $100 anywhere, whether Borgata, resorts, Caesars, whatever. It's usually free or fairly expensive for me.
I wonder if that's just a product of like what sort of tier we are grouped into.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where it's like, you can get this crappy room comped, but if you want a decent room, you gotta pay.
So you were talking about you had offers at Wind Creek. I sent you, I know, I had an offer, just the most random offer come in from Maryland Live, right? Where they offered me $200 of free play and $75 dining credit and a free night in the hotel. So I surely need to go to that, right? I've never played more than 2 hours at min bet blackjack or something there, I think.
When was the last time you were even there?
There was a day, did I meet you there?
Yeah, I think so. Me and Paul.
Paul? Yeah. So I think that might have been the last time I was there.
Right, it's been that was years ago.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's weird.
I've gone in once or twice because I'm, as I think I've talked about on the podcast, very anti-sports betting apps. So I've gone to make bets in person there, but, I don't even use my card when I do that. So I don't think that counts.
No. I think you got to do it. You got to just tell your wife, sorry, I got to stay in a hotel that's 12 minutes from my house.
I mean, presumably I would bring my wife if I did this, I think. So
hard to disagree. Solo night at the Maryland Live.
Just like you're doing your solo dinner for two at the Wind Creek.
I'm going to go and be like, so it's just me. Can I have 2 steaks?
Mm-hmm.
Take one to go. All right. We went to Atlantic City.
We did.
This past weekend.
Yep.
I was told last episode that we mentioned that we're going to Atlantic City, but didn't actually say the dates. It was July 27th to the 29th.
9th for you, yeah.
28th for you. Let's talk about it. You were the first one there?
I was by 3 minutes, I think.
Oh, I thought you beat Dave by more than that.
He went and checked in first and diddled about the room and stuff. So it was a while for him to come to the boardwalk.
Oh, okay. That was the gap in time because I was getting all the texts of him trying to catch up to you somewhere on the boardwalk.
He didn't go back to Harrah's until 11 or whatever, so it made sense, I think, for him to check in first.
Correct.
Whereas it turns out I should have probably checked in first as well, but I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. Get
there soon. So what did you do while Dave was, diddling about the room, as he said?
I was at the boardwalk drinking for the most part. So I went to Irish Pub first when I got there. I parked at the Noise Arts Garage, of course, as is contractually obligated. Yeah, walked to Irish Pub, had a Guinness, of course, which I think I mentioned to you in the text. I think I've been to Irish Pub 3 times since the last time you've been there. And you're the Irish Pub lover, and I'm the Irish Pub hater, but Guinness is good, so you got to do it. It's just not even that cheap either. Frankly, I don't know why I do it, but...
Atmosphere.
It's the atmosphere, yeah. It's not like King's Pub, which is where I went to next, where the beers are $3. It's 6 or 7 or something for a Guinness at the Irish Pub, cash only. So,
yeah.
Anyway, so I went to Irish Pub, had a Guinness, went to King's Pub. I ended up having 2 Miller Lights there because I was going to just have one and then move on. And it started absolutely pouring. By the way, the traffic and drive up was horrible because it was raining so hard all day, that Sunday.
I didn't deal with any of that coming from the north, but I heard some children came into the...
Oh, yeah. Some, high school girls basically came in. And the guy's like, yo, you can't be here. And they're like, it's pouring outside. And he's like, all right, fine. Just sit at the table in the corner and don't talk to anyone. And you can stay until the rain stops. And then they immediately asked the guy next to them if he could buy them alcohol. And then they got kicked out.
That's a very AC story, I feel.
It was great.
Classic.
It was wonderful. Yeah.
So rain stopped.
Yeah, so I finished my Miller Lights for a grand total of $7 or whatever it was. And moved on to Maya, where I ended up getting myself, I don't remember what it was called exactly, some sort of iced tea based.
Tea in Tulum.
Tea in Tulum.
Yeah.
It was tasty. Was it a quality cocktail? I don't know, but it tasted good.
Dave got it when we went later. Fast forward, spoilers. It tasted like iced tea.
It did.
Which is not what I like, but I think a lot of people, that's actually very much what they like. They like their alcoholic drinks to not taste like alcohol.
Yeah,
I want my alcoholic drinks to taste very much of alcohol.
I, too, was once in high school, so I remember the feeling.
Those girls at King's Pub would have loved.
It would have loved Tea and Tulum. Absolutely loved it, yeah. So, anyway, we went to Maya. I bought nachos there as well, which turned out to be a key play, as we'll get to later. How much more food I ate for the rest of the day.
Okay.
So, yeah, we got nachos. I got a Tea and Tulum. Dave got Sunset and something drink as well.
How were the nachos?
Good. Yeah, they were good. They were very good.
So,
I mean, they were nachos. Like, it's kind of hard to mess up, but...
Yeah. Maya is basically just 2 shipping containers that they threw up, right?
So apparently it's like pay as you go. Like you can't open a tab there. You just have to close out all the time. So
that's interesting.
I like gave them my card and they're like, oh, our system's down, cash only or whatever. And I'm like, I'll be here for a bit. Let's just wait and see if the system comes back up.
Did it?
No. The woman was like, I could maybe go over to the chicken guy and cash you out there. So it turns out from these conversations that it's owned by the chicken guy people.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like the franchisee who, runs that chicken guy.
I think all the food comes from the chicken guy as well.
Kitchen. Yeah, seems that way. It's like practically reaching distance from.
I mean, it is
outside
right next door to the chicken guy. So anyway, yeah, the food was pretty good. My drink was fine. I mean, I think it was a little bit expensive for what it was, frankly. It's like a pretty small cup, and it was like $16.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
I mean, it's fine. It's on the boardwalk, and, I'm willing to pay extra for that. So I'd say it's very fine. 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
I'll fast forward because we went a second time. Mm-hmm. As I told you in text, I would be annoyed if I didn't get to go. So Dave and I did go the next day, and we were sitting there in the afternoon, like pretty nice out. Got a cocktail. I got a Hemingway daiquiri, which is like it's not a frozen drink. It's like a on the rocks with some grapefruit juice and some lime juice, which was very good. Dave got the tea and Tulum. And I was saying when we were sitting there, like, there should be 20 of these on the boardwalk. Like, it's just such a nice spot to pop in and sit when you're walking down the boardwalk, get a cocktail, chill out under some ceiling fans for 20 minutes or half an hour. It feels like a nice boardwalk experience for something that they just kind of chucked up there in a week or so. And it's like shocking how much I think it would add to the boardwalk to have that be a more readily available sort of experience.
It seemed like it was doing all right, too. I mean, people were coming in and buying drinks to go and stuff. So
yeah, they did a lot of to-go business in the time that we were there, too. And I think when booze on the boardwalk became legal, thanks to our constant
push, Due for a Win.
For it. Yeah, we lobbied hard for that. You saw some places just like set tables out, like set a booth out selling beer and some basic cocktails. And this is the first thing that really feels like it's really taking advantage of it beyond just kind of some grab and go like you'd see in Grand Central Terminal or something as you're rushing to the train, which, those things probably do plenty of business, like the Johnny Rockets Rocket Bar, which I feel like was the pioneer in that space. It was like the first thing that was like, oh, we're going to put a bar right here. Done. So that's cool. The Tiki Bar thing at Steel Pier is sort of another outdoor bar that takes advantage of that, but I feel like Maya's a little nicer place to sit, better drinks, so that was cool.
Yeah, it's better than the Tiki Bar at Steel Pier, I think, where we went drinking once. We had a meetup there, right? And I was just drinking with my buddy Zach and Jeffrey. Yeah.
So then did you finally go back to Golden Nugget after that?
No, we went to Ducktown Tavern.
Oh, yes.
We went to the outdoor version of Ducktown Tavern, which I don't remember the name of. Yeah, apparently Ducktown Tavern itself was shut down for reasons, but they had the outdoor space open.
How was the outdoor space at Ducktown Tavern?
It was really nice, actually. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was like quite beautiful out at that time, so that helped a lot.
Didn't just look like you were drinking in a parking lot?
I mean, maybe a little, but I don't know. It was nice.
Sometimes
I liked it.
Drink in a parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, I've tailgated more than most, so.
I don't remember what it's called either. It has some goofy name. Something duck related.
Ducktown something. Yeah.
Anyways.
Great content.
Awesome stuff.
We had some Pacificos there. There was Pacifico girls there. I have a picture of me and Dave in a bike, very romantic-like, together, taken from a Polaroid from the Pacifico representatives.
I see.
I like Pacifico, so I was fine with all of it.
Did they give you any free stuff?
A picture of me and Dave. That was romantic. No, I have cheap sunglasses, a koozie, maybe something else, bottle opener maybe.
I like those sunglasses. Those were nice.
Yeah.
Those are good summer sunglasses.
Should have gotten to Atlantic City at a reasonable hour, and then you too could have had them.
No, couldn't happen.
Then I, of course, did my classic move of making Dave drive me back to Golden Nugget.
Yes. This is becoming a theme.
Yeah.
It was Taylor last time, but yeah.
It was Taylor last time, but yeah. Someone has to drive me back because I'm just much more drunk at this point than most people like to be, 2 hours after they arrive in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
So Dave drove my car back to Golden Nugget. I have to say that it's nice if you have an EV because they do have EV chargers and they're usually happy to let you charge there for free. So
At the Golden Nugget.
At the Golden Nugget. So
what time did you roll into the Golden Nugget?
I don't know, 8:30 maybe.
Okay.
This is going to be important later, but yeah, it was like 8:30, I think. First impression was good. Like the valet guy was very nice. I always have good luck with the valet people there being friendly because they have to let you back into the EV charging zone because it's technically, I think, in the valet zone. So, yep. So plugged in there and then went upstairs to check in and was told that I did not have a room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
So why did you not have a room?
So I got there and checked in and she's like, "Oh no, we canceled your room." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, you have to be here by 8 o'clock." It said, like, you have to be here by 8. And I was like, "Okay. So what does this mean?" And she's like, "Well, we don't have a room for you." And then she's like, "All right, let me check and see if there's anything I can do." She tried to call a number a few times and could not get through. And then went to talk to the other person working at the front desk at this time after she was done dealing with someone else, I guess. And the other person came over and looked and is like, "Just give him the room. It's still available. Like, what are you doing?"
Awesome.
But, as I found out later when I checked my email and forwarded it to you, they did cancel my room, right at 8 o'clock. They said, basically, "We're sorry you couldn't make it, blah, blah, blah. We've canceled your room."
The phrase, "per your request,"
no.
was in the first line of the email. You requested that they cancel that room. You didn't know it, but by not showing up until 8:01, you requested.
It was 8:30 when we got there, so it was not very long after 8 at all.
So
but
that was awesome.
I didn't have a room, and the one woman did not want to give me one. So I guess if I couldn't get a room, would have just booked a room somewhere else and never gone to Golden Nugget again. But yeah, we'll see.
So it was funny because I was not going to get there until after 9, and Harrah's has a thing on their website saying check-in time is between 4 and 9. So as I was waiting for my wife to get home so I could leave, I was like, am I not going to get there until after 9? What if they cancel my room? But as soon as she got home, I was like, okay, I'm doing online check-in, and I'm telling them that I'm getting there at 9:30. It was totally fine. I expect it would have been fine regardless, unlike Golden Nugget, who was just canceled.
I mean, I've certainly gotten there at around midnight before, and it's always been fine at Caesar's Properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember several times at Tropicana, I've got there at 11 or 12, and they've never had a problem checking me in. There was a night where I met Paul there for one night, and I got there around midnight. That was the infamous night where he was at Docks for several hours before that. And
Oh, yeah.
Not in great shape, but...
So not to harp on this for too long, which that ship has sailed, but do you think the reason for the cancellation is because it's a comped room? They want you there in gambling. If you paid $100 for that room.
Yes. I assume it was only because it was comped. I assume if I paid for the room, it would not have been canceled.
Yeah, that's my guess too.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was an annoying situation. Not a great way to start the trip. But anyway, they ended up putting me back in my room. The room was very nice. It has to be said. Last time I stayed in Golden Nugget, or every time I stayed in Golden Nugget, I've always been impressed by how nice the rooms are. They are nicer than you would expect it being Golden Nugget. It's kind of like the same as Bally's, where the room was much nicer than one would expect. So that was good. So anyway, I checked in, I put my stuff upstairs, and I went back down and just gambled for a while with Dave.
Anything good at the Golden Nugget, gambling-wise?
I mean, there wasn't very much open at all, it had to be said. There's 3 or 4 tables open, yeah.
Sunday at 9 o'clock. So, the plan this whole time was that I was driving down, I was getting texts, you were like, we're going to eat at the Asian place.
Great, because I had $75 food credit, or $60 food credit.
Yeah, so that was the plan, and... I think it got to 9:05 or something, and I messaged you saying, is this place actually still open? Because I wouldn't be surprised if everything is closed at 9 o'clock.
It was open, yeah.
So then I got to Harrah's at 9. Right around 9:30, I pull into the parking lot. I get checked in. By the time I go to the bathroom and get out of the room, it was 9:40.
You said you played a little bit of video poker too, right?
Well, so it was 9:40, and I was walking toward that exit to the walkway at Harrah's, the walkway from Harrah's to Golden Nugget. And I was like, I'm going to get there at 10:02. Right? What are the odds that this place rolls up shop at 10 and everything's closed and that we don't actually get any food and I've just walked over to Golden Nugget for nothing? So as I'm walking out, I pass the Voodoo Bar and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to get a gin and tonic. I'm already annoyed that I didn't get here until 9:40. Let's get a drink in me and play some just awful video poker. By the way, it's 7-5 video poker at the Voodoo Bar and at the other corner video poker bar. So I played some crappy video poker, lost some money, got a gin and tonic. Comped though, so that was nice. And then at 10:01, I texted hey, can you check to make sure this place is still open? And lo and behold,
It was closed.
it was closed. It said it was supposed to be open until 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning. 2 in the morning. And the diner where we ended up eating the next day, I think was supposed to be open until midnight. So
This feels like a breach of trust between casino and gambler.
I don't know if it was the next day at breakfast when I said this. I think it was. When I started going to Atlantic City or casinos in general, every casino had a 24-hour diner. It was like part of the contract is I will come and gamble and you will have a 24-hour diner where I can always at least get like a shitty omelet or something, right?
And that was one of the complaints about Ocean, or Revel, I guess, back in the day, for a long time was everything closes early. There's nothing late night, period. Like at that time,
Right.
There was no Cafe Chino in the lobby that was open 24 hours. Like everything just rolled up and there was just nothing available late at night.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like hungry and kind of pissed off about the whole situation. Me and Dave actually go and talk to the bartender at the video poker bar, and I'm like, are there any restaurants open? And he's like, if the diner's not open in the back, then I don't think there's any restaurants open. And it's like, what the hell? It's 10 o'clock. And so I was like, whatever, fine. I'll go down to the stupid bread and bean, and I'll get a Danish, and I'll be super disgruntled. And I went downstairs and that is closed too. So there are literally 0 food options open during the summer at 10 p.m. on a Sunday night at the Golden Nugget.
I understand in normal world, Sunday night stuff closes early. But this is in season in Atlantic City. Presumably anybody going for a 3-day weekend is going until Monday.
If this were February, it would still be unacceptable and ridiculous. It was July.
Yeah. It's insane. I mean, that chocolate box, I think used to have sandwiches. How much would it cost to just staff one of those two places, the bean
Right.
and whatever it's called, or the chocolate box, so that there's something open?
I mean, I ended up going into the equivalent of Emperor's Essentials at Golden Nugget, whatever it's called, like the normal shop. They had an ice cream freezer and bags of chips, and that was it. And I'm just like, I'm just going to sleep. Like, I'm just so pissed off by this whole situation.
So
like,
did you go to sleep at like 10:30?
I went to sleep at like 11, yeah. I was hungry, and like, there's no food.
I mean, I started going later than you did, right? And by the time I started going, it was the ACH, Atlantic Club, Future Atlantic Club.
And they had a shitty diner that was 24 hours.
They called it a coffee shop, but it was a diner. And that was great. Like, Andrew and I got there once
Right.
at like 11:30 at night. We took the bus after work on a Thursday night, I think, and got there so late. It was pouring. We were miserable. And like just going to that coffee shop and getting a soup and a sandwich in the middle of the night was like, okay, we have revived the trip. We're in a much better mood now
Right.
because there's this thing. It was like a default. Every casino had to have a noodle place, a 24-hour sort of coffee shop. Harrah's also, most stuff was closed. So Dave then came back to Harrah's because we wanted food. Every place that you could go and actually order, including AC Burger Co., was closed. I thought AC Burger Co. stayed open later. It didn't. We ended up getting a Sicilian pizza from Buddy's Boardwalk Empire. We were just going to get some slices, but instead we decided to get a $45 full pizza, which, let me tell you, you don't need 8 Sicilian slices. It's a lot of food. I don't know if it was just because it was super late and I was starving, but it was pretty good, I thought. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the pizza.
Should be good for 2-to-1 comps.
I don't know if I would have enjoyed it at 6:30 p.m. Yes, 2-to-1 comps. We did not use comps.
Outrageous.
Like I said, I checked in. I was in the Atrium Tower on the 10th floor, which this was my first Atrium Tower experience. I have to say, when you go into Atrium Tower and you see
It was nice.
the big atrium, I guess, and it's all lit up in purple, and you go into the room, it feels like a premium experience.
It was
Like
nice.
It feels
It was
like a
really
premium
nice.
tower,
Yeah.
premium room, very big suite with a separate seating area and a nice bed. So I was surprised by that. Also, my view was out toward
Towards the Tropicana, right?
you could see all the Boardwalk casinos. You could see the Nugget and Borgata, and you could see all this sort of like marshy area.
I looked out the window when I was in your room the next day, and I felt like it was the Nugget and the Borg. And if you look right down the middle between the two of those, it was Trop in front of you.
Yeah.
I thought it was very nice.
It was my favorite view I've ever had in Atlantic City. I found myself at one point on Monday during the day, just sort of sitting there looking out the window and thinking like, this is actually a really beautiful place. Like if you look out, it's like so green out and with all the water and everything. Like I really love that view. Anytime I'm down in that part of the Jersey Shore, I'm always like, I love this. Like I really like this area. And the thought struck me sort of as I'm looking around at the casinos, how much everybody screwed up that this is not the biggest gambling destination in the country. It's a beach. It's really pretty. You've got all these big spaces for casinos, and I don't know. One thing I'll say about the Atrium Tower is getting back to my room at 3:15 in the morning, I really did not like the hip height railings direct down 10 flights. I looked over the railing, I was like, oh, I do not like that at all. And then I walked over to the room, as far away from the railing as I possibly could to walk around. That's high up, man. I don't know about that. So that's my Sunday night. Gambled very late into the night, as you can tell, 3:15 in the morning.
Yep.
It was one of those things, just everything I touched at the start went bad. I was like, I'm going to need to go to the ATM. Like, I can't believe how bad this is going, considering I got here at 9:30 at night and didn't start gambling until almost 10. And then just as the night was about to end, I hit a $50 bonus on something. I can't even remember what. It was the first positive session I had at any point. I went to bed just thinking like, wow, I'm going to have to really do some stuff other than gambling tomorrow because I don't bring that much money to Atlantic City, and it was going quite bad. I had a nice Buffalo $50 bonus to end the night. But yeah, it was still just a terrible night.
Yeah, I actually ended up doing quite well on Friday night. I don't know. I think I had like a $500 or $600 win on Huff and More Puff and like several $300 wins in the same session. I didn't end up that much money on the machine because, between these wins were losses. But
bleeding $3 at a time.
Six, five, six. I don't know, whatever. It might have been $5. Yeah, so that was good. I ended up several $100s on Sunday. So I have to say the gambling went quite well, unlike on Monday where it was a different story. So I guess we can get to Monday, right? Do we have anything more to say about Sunday?
No, Sunday's done.
I ended up getting 8 hours of sleep, which was absolutely incredible. I don't even get that at home most of the time. So I got up like 7:30 or something. Yeah, I went down and did a bunch of gambling. Well, I was waiting, I guess, for you guys to get up and see what you wanted to do. And let me tell you, everything was absolutely horrible on Monday morning.
What did you play, craps?
So I played craps for a bit, and that went very, very bad.
Was it $10 craps at 7:30 on a Monday morning?
It was 10, yes.
Okay.
Only half of a table open, so there's only 2 employees.
Oh, wow.
Not very many employees for craps. So I played some craps that went very badly. As always, I don't know why I even play Jacks or better. I played 9-6. And it was just a disaster. It's nice to have 9-6, it must be said, but it didn't go well. I played some Monopoly Express, and it was very bad. So I ended up losing quite a lot of money in just the 2 hours between the time I was awake and you guys made your way over to Nugget.
Yeah, that's not great.
So I ended up down for the trip, despite being up quite a bit on Sunday.
We had inverse. My Monday went much better than my Sunday. So we met you at Michael Patrick's at Golden Nugget for breakfast to use your food credits.
Yeah, it was probably like 10 when you got there or something.
I think it was a little before that. But Michael Patrick's, the thing you need to know is they have a regular menu, and it's not particularly
quite expensive. Cheap. Yeah, no. But they have 2 breakfast deals Monday to Friday. One is $6.99, all you can eat pancakes. Maybe $5.99.
I have $6 marked down.
And then $9.99 for 2 eggs, hash browns, breakfast meat.
Yeah.
Maybe something else. So anyway, we all combined both of those specials, which was by far the best deal there, I think.
For $16, you get a ton of food.
Right. And all you can eat pancakes, which let me tell you, no one got more pancakes after we ate everything that we had.
No, so much food. But I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I certainly ate everything. It was good. Obviously not Gilchrist level, but it's a much better than the average breakfast you would get in AC, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying we've been to some other like super cheap places and thought that this was better than those.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. I mean, it helps that you were paying. But at $16, I think that's a fine deal. Like, that's a lot of breakfast.
If you have a food credit Gold Nugget, I do think the Michael Patrick's for breakfast, specifically Monday through Friday, while they have that deal, is a good idea.
Then you needed to run off to take a quick shower and go take a class.
Yep.
Which
so
you
I had
did
to go take
room.
a shower and take a class in your room because I had to check out of the Nugget. So I did that. You guys seemed like you were gambling for maybe an hour at the Nugget, and then you went back to Harrah's and gambled there.
Yeah, so I played a little bit at Nugget. So I said my Sunday night went terribly. I sat down at a couple of machines at Golden Nugget, played some 6s or better, won $20. Played some regular Jacks or better, won another $20. So, I said how terrible my night was, but then I just have these 2 like plus $20 sessions, and I'm like, yeah, right back in the game. It's like gambling is absurd. Like you lose $500 and then you have 2 $20 winning sessions and you're like, yeah, it's going well. Like, no, it's going terribly still. I did play Monopoly Express at Golden Nugget, which is the game I talked about a little while ago at Wind Creek Bethlehem, which is the game where if you're doing nickels, you only need 5 trains.
5, yeah. I was doing pennies when I was doing it, but I never even got 5 trades, so it wouldn't have mattered.
So I was playing nickels. I also never got 5 trains, but it still triggered the bonus. Like, it can just randomly give you the bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Like the
If
pot
you get
games.
one train,
Yeah.
you can, trigger.
So I just kept getting bonuses, won $100, and so now we're rallying a little bit. So I was feeling much better leaving Golden Nugget.
Now, Gold Nugget thinks you're a nickel player, and you're just going to get all the offers.
I didn't use my card.
Oh. Damn.
So then we walked back to Hera's. You finished up your class. We were down playing video poker.
100-line video poker.
I played a little bit of Little Shop of Horrors, which I still think is a great slot machine.
Mm.
I was playing 6s or better. Dave was playing 100-line penny jacks or better.
Oh, yeah.
Right, 100-hand jacks or better, which is just a hilarious game. So then you came down and met us and asked if we wanted to get lunch.
Right. And you and Dave did not want to get lunch?
No, we were very full from our
so
all-you-can-eat breakfast.
Do you want to get lunch? Do you want to go to the boardwalk? And it seemed like you guys wanted to just chill at Harrah's for a while and do some gambling. So I had already lost too much money on Monday. So I ended up just getting out of town and eating on the way home. But
we spent some time talking about how pleasing the sound of the 100-hand,
was good.
The little dinks and doinks.
The 4-of-a-kind sound is really what you go for.
One thing that happened over in that area is Harrah's has 2 6s or better machines, 2 double down sub machines. I hit a 4-of-a-kind in 6s or better, which, let me tell you,
is that allowed?
It pays quite well. So I made $140 on that machine. So now I'm really rallying. Things are going pretty well. Played some more of the World Series of Poker branded machines where they've got the good double bonus. I won $60 really quick on that. And one thing I was doing is if I quickly got up $20, I would take the ticket out and go cash out and turn it into dollars and then just put 20 in at the machine again. Because it's like, I'm not going to have a situation where I'm up 100 on a machine and then I'm like, whatever, I'll just get down. I'm losing, but I'll keep playing. And then all of a sudden I've lost my 100 and the 20 that I put in. Fast forward to the next machine. I'm back at the World Series of Poker machine. I hit, I think, a 4-of-a-kind, and I'm up for the trip at this point, unbelievably. And then I don't do what I was doing and cash out and take my cash and put $20 in. I just keep playing. And then I lose all of what I got on that 4-of-a-kind. And then I lose all of the 60 that I had put into that point. So that was dumb. So then we finished up there, took a Uber over to the boardwalk to Ocean and walked around Ocean a little bit.
I have to say, Dave did want to go in Ocean and gamble with me quite a lot, but I wanted to drink quite a lot and not gamble at Ocean, so unfortunately I ended up winning.
So we played some slots there, actually won at everything I touched in the slots. I played some Buffalo, hit a nice Buffalo bonus. The classic Buffalo experience of, like, you get the bonus finally, and it's $3.50. You get another bonus. I got a bonus that was $1.30, and I was like, this game sucks. I'm texting Dave how much I hate Buffalo, and then I get a bonus with 4 coins, which gives you 15 spins, and that one was like $140. So I was like, never mind, Buffalo's the greatest. I actually was up at the trip at that point, so we left Ocean and I was up, which, let me tell you, I did not finish up on this trip. Walked around Ocean, looked at all the new stuff going up. I have to say, with the new restaurants, La Scala's Fire, they redid the Distrito sort of area. They're putting in the mini golf course, which is over back where Rocco's used to be, sort of back behind Distrito. There's the new Sonny's breakfast and lunch restaurant that's up on the lobby level. There's the Chez Frites that's right next to that on the lobby level, which is the new Steak Frites place. The Steak Frites place is kind of strange because there's like 4 things on the menu. So I'm a little nervous about that concept of like a super small Steak Frites focused menu. The thing that jumped out at me about Sonny's is that used to be this really nice space that overlooked the pool and you could see out onto the ocean. And at some point they frosted all the glass there. So there's no view from that restaurant, which seems like it's taking literally the best thing about that restaurant and removing it. So I don't understand why they made that decision. I know it's like right on top of the pool and the loungers for the pool. So maybe there's a feeling of like people don't like that. But to me, that was like the whole reason to go and sit there and get a drink when it used to be a bar. That was our Ocean experience. Well, Ocean, for one thing, Monday at 3 p.m., crowded, very crowded. So that was surprising.
Next time me and you do a trip, I think we should stay at Ocean because, firstly, I want to match my status there because I think their gaming year just started.
Ocean hates me, and I got a card and played on the card for an hour, so that's not going to help. So we'll see. We'll see if I ever get a comp at Ocean again. There's a sign in front of the player's desk that says, if you need a card reprinted, go to a pit. and ask a pit boss, even though it was open. And so I went to a pit boss, and he was like, no, that's just for when it's closed. I'm like, well, it's open and the sign is still there. So I went and waited in line and got a card. Dave was playing blackjack and asked for a card, and they were like, oh, our system's all changed. We can't actually print a card. So Dave played a bunch of unrated blackjack, which I'm sure he was real happy about.
Yeah.
And then we left Ocean, went to Doherty's Happy Hour. Every bar stool was taken at Doherty's, so it was doing good business. They were moving a whole lot of appetizers and stuff. I thought it was a really good experience. Like, ordered a couple rounds of appetizers, got a bunch of oysters, got some sliders of various sorts. I thought that was all really good. The cocktails were good. The prices aren't like fantastic or anything, but the food and drinks are all good enough to be worth it anyway. So that was cool. And then we went to Maya, and that's where I got the drink. We already talked about Maya. I don't think we need to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Walked down past the gym, the outdoor gym, which very much did not look open. There were a bunch of boxes that they were unloading that looked like they were all sort of beachy, loungy chair things. And then kept walking down and went out to the Under Armour outlet, which I desperately needed some shoes. So I got some Under Armour shoes, actually almost the exact same shoes as I bought the last time we went to the Under Armour outlet.
Which I know is what you specifically said you needed to buy.
Yeah.
So
for $26. So huge win. At this point, I'm feeling great. I'm up for the trip. I've got my Under Armour shoes. I got my Maya, which, you know, I was desperate to go to Maya this trip. So feeling great about life. Went back to Harrah's, played a little bit there, and stuff started going bad.
That's when things took a turn.
Yeah, video poker down, played some Bao Zhu Zhao Fu until I got the bonus. The bonus only got me back to down $7.
I just love how that game just kills you every time. Yeah. You haven't learned anything from.
Learned nothing. Sixes are better, though. So nice to me this trip. I think I was up like $200 on sixes are better. So I'm back all in on sixes are better. Played some Nickel Dragon Link, lost $100, and then I just went on tilt. We went to dinner at AC Burger Co. So went and sat down there. Dave got wings and a turkey club. I got a mushroom Swiss burger. The wings I thought were good. I think both Dave and I said that the sandwiches and the burger were like kind of flavorless. The burger needed salt and pepper. Like, it was just very odd how little flavor was in that burger. So that was kind of disappointing. Just not great. Maybe we would have been better off going to Bobby's Burgers in the food court, but I kind of wanted to actually sit somewhere and get bar service and eat. But
Bobby's Burgers is not very good. I ended up eating there when I went on my solo trip. Didn't love it.
It's also like $28 for a burger or something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an actual number, but that's my guess.
It's not Bobby's Burger Place, right? It's something else.
I think it's just called Bobby's Burgers.
Maybe. Because I used to like Bobby's Burger Place in Maryland Live. I would go and eat there. Yeah,
just everything went bad after that. And then went and played some Pai Gow poker at like midnight. $25 Pai Gow poker. Face up Pai Gow, no commissions. It was going fine. And then somebody sat down, a guy and his wife, hopefully doesn't listen to the podcast, and like within 30 seconds of cashing in, maybe even less, the guy gets the pit boss over and is like, can we have a waitress? The pit boss is like, she literally just came. Like, she'll get around when she gets around. And I'm thinking, like, this isn't a $200 table. Like, you don't get to demand waitress service. The vibes felt off. And from then on, the rest of the Pai Gow poker went quite poorly. So ended up losing at that. I think we both ended up getting to a round number after a while, like won a couple hands finally after just losing. There were a whole lot of ace-high Pai Gow pushes, including one where I think I had even better than a full house. I had something ridiculous and pushed on ace-high Pai Gow, so that sucked.
Yeah, that's the problem with Face Up. It's a bad game. You shouldn't play it.
Yeah, so that didn't help at all. And then went and got some gelato. And the gelato also, it looks great in the little case at Taza. Not as flavorful as you'd think it would be, is what I'm going to say. So, I don't know why I thought the gelato at Taza would be good, other than just eye test.
Because if it's 2-to-1 reward credits, it has to be good.
It's cost double, so it has to be good. So then went to bed around, 1:15, 1:30. Woke up in the morning and got showered and packed up and checked out pretty early. Because I figured I wanted to go to breakfast and didn't want to have to worry about getting back to the room.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up playing some random slots while I waited for Dave to get down. Went back to Buddy's Boardwalk Empire, got a pastry and a breakfast sandwich, not realizing how massive the breakfast sandwich would be. I got a sausage, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser roll. I have to say, better than bread and butter at Borgata. but it was too big, and it was like very seasoned. So as much as AC Burger Co. was under-seasoned, the first couple bites I had, I was like, this is the best breakfast sandwich I've ever eaten. And by the end of this massive thing, I was like, that's a lot. It's just a lot going on. But it was good. I would go back. It's, again, not cheap. There's a deal where it's like breakfast sandwich, hash browns, and a coffee for like $18, but it's not on the menu anywhere.
Also known as 36 reward credits. But yes, go ahead. 3,600 reward credits.
Super excited to tell us about it, the cashier. But I didn't get that because I wanted a Danish and not hash browns. And I think it was like $26. So not cheap. And then played some other random things before I left and just lost at all of them. Wonder Woman, lost. Video poker, lost. Buffalo Ascension, will not be surprised. Got absolutely nothing in Buffalo Ascension. And then I was like, finally, I was back to down pretty much exactly what I was down at the lowest point on Sunday night. And I was like, this sucks. I'm leaving. Left at about 11:30. So that was the trip. You had a very short trip. I think I saw you for less than 60 minutes total.
But no, we probably had breakfast together for just about 60 minutes. And then while we were talking to Dave at the slot machine while I was...
For like 15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. You wanted to go to the bathroom and I wanted to do something or leave.
Would you have stayed later if the gambling didn't go so bad? That was what I was wondering.
No, I was able to get home in time to pick up the kids and stuff, which was good. So it worked out. I mean, I could have stayed. If you guys wanted to go to lunch or something, I might have stayed a little bit longer. But I didn't need to like start a day at Harrah's and gamble for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think so. I don't think it had to do with the gambling.
Yeah, I don't think I realized that you were getting out of there that early.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you said that on the last podcast and I just willfully ignored it. I think we already said our thoughts on Golden Nugget. Again, pretty empty. Although when we were leaving the Michael Patrick's, it was very crowded at 10:30.
Yeah, I mean, that's because the breakfast deal ends at 11, I think. Yeah. So you have to get in before.
Yeah, everybody who's checking out was rushing down to get the breakfast deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is back-to-back Harrah's trips for me, which just seems crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about Harrah's? How do you rate it?
It's fine. The food I wish was better. The video poker bars are quite bad. I did go to that corner video poker bar. It was also 7.5. I like that there's two of them, but the video poker sucks. The late night dining options in general on a Sunday night were really bad.
Better than Golden Nuggets.
Yeah.
I have to say, my takeaway is that Golden Nugget, it's such a weird property in that they do a lot of things really well. Like when me and Dave were there, the drink service was legitimately incredible. The best in Atlantic City. Just coming through all the time. You know, and that's a hard thing, I feel like, to get right. And I've been to very nice casinos where it's like a disaster or whatever. You can't get a drink. So that's nice. I legitimately enjoy gambling at Golden Nugget when tables are open, which they were not really open on Sunday night and were extremely not open on Monday morning. But I think it's a pleasant place to gamble. I think when the food options are open, I've always been fairly pleased with what they have to offer. But canceling my room, it's like, what are you guys doing? And then literally not having food available after 10 p.m. was ridiculous. So I think Gold Nugget is bad. I don't feel the need to go back anytime soon. I think Harrah's also is bad, and I don't feel the need to go back anytime soon.
I left thinking Harrah's is fine. I'm not high on it at all. I definitely don't want to do a third trip in a row there. But I'm not down on it. I've just had my fill of Harrah's the last two trips.
What is there to do there? The table games are okay, maybe, at best. The food options are bad, and as I've said several times, it really rubs me the wrong way that they're all 2-to-1 reward credits.
Yeah. That's
just extremely punitive. There's no reason that the Harrah's-owned gelato shop needs to be 2-to-1.
Yeah, that's
other
insane.
than they're just being dicks.
Yeah.
So, and like, I always use reward credits at Caesar's Properties for everything. So, yeah, I don't need to go there and do that when I can't even get 1-to-1 reward credits anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like out of the way of everything. So I think if I go back to the marina anytime soon, I will go to Borgata, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think you asked me, my trip was very short. What did I think about it? Or if you didn't, it's at least on the agenda.
Yeah. Worth it?
Yeah, no, it was. It was good. I would do it again. I mean, it was very short. I was maybe awake in Atlantic City for 8 hours or something and drove for 8 hours because traffic was pretty bad going home as well. And like I mentioned, it was not good going up. But I think it was worth it. It's much better, like I said last time, than a day trip. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I was happy. I would do it again.
Yeah, seeing how much you did. I know I said like I would rather do the day trip, but
I wish I was able to get there a bit earlier on Sunday, but for reasons that I was talking to you and Dave about, it just wasn't a possibility. And yeah, Monday was always going to be a bit touch and go. I think I said last podcast, you had asked me earlier what I said about it. I said that I didn't know and it was going to be a bit up in the air, but yeah, it was going to be better if I could pick up the kids. So
yeah. I don't think I have any other thoughts beyond what I've already said. late night dining is just a catastrophe.
Yeah.
I guess I should give Harris credit for having Taza open 24 hours. Like, you can get a sandwich.
But not a gelato.
I did leave thinking I need to play more at Ocean. I liked it a lot. I know you're not a fan of that property or that casino at the very least, but...
So, I just now went, not during the podcast, surely probably right before the episode, but so I had to sign up for their new online system. So, disappointed to see that Ocean is no longer 6-digit ID and 4-digit PIN to log in. But I have comps every day except Saturday, pretty much.
Oh, nice.
It looks like. So
I'll just smooch off your comps.
Next trip, I would like to go to Ocean. Or if you, I mean, you could always just stay at Gold Nugget, or not Gold Nugget,
Resorts.
Hard Rock.
Yeah, either or.
We could do that next trip. That sounds nice. I have to say, I'm in pretty good shape. I feel like by the end of July, I've now stayed in 5 of the 9 casinos in Atlantic City.
Wow.
So
impressive.
It's not going to happen this year. I'm not going to stay in Hard Rock intentionally because I'm not going to gamble there until next year because
right.
Have to ride the merry-go-round. But yeah, I think it's quite plausible that I could stay in Ocean, Trop, and Resorts and get to 8 of the 9 and only intentionally not stay in Hard Rock.
Wow. Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Which also means at least 8 nights in Atlantic City, which is impressive. Probably exactly 8 nights, right?
I think we at least have one more one-night trip and maybe one more 2-night trip left in the year.
We'll see.
Or maybe 3 one-night trips. We'll see.
Yeah. Fall gets crazy. I feel like we always get in December.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think you're probably right.
I think we'll have a one-night trip in the fall, and then, November, December, we'll do a 2-night trip with hopefully more people. Maybe we can get Taylor out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a hard stop, so I need to pretty much go.
Withhold all these emails for 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, it was a good trip. I'm glad we were able to do it. And I do think we need to say we'll do Ocean next time. I'm excited to be back to Ocean. It's been a really long time for me. So,
yeah, I was impressed. It feels like really fully realized, I think, for the first time in its existence. And it feels nice. And it's funny because it's crowded and I'm surprised. But it's like I see the revenue numbers every month. I shouldn't be surprised that it's crowded.
Yep.
It's close to Hard Rock, right? I should be expecting it to be as crowded as Hard Rock. And yet I walk in and there are people everywhere. I'm like, what is this? Because I'm so used to thinking of it as this
as revel. more dealers than people.
Yeah, more dealers than people, exactly.
All right, well, thank you guys for listening. If you want to reach out to us or any of our other listeners, you can do so at our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/doforawin. Find all of our great content at doforawin.com and not buy a shirt.
No shirts.
Reach out to Craig on Twitter at doforawin or me at Kyle Askin, and send Craig questions to get them pushed off forever to doforawin@gmail.com.
Pushing off questions is the best. Pushing off all responsibility is the best, I have to say.
To the likes of Chris D and Randy M, if those are your real names, we're sorry. We'll get to you next episode.
Yes. Maybe.
Which we don't know if those are their real names.
No.
It needs to be said. Is the show over, or are we still showing?
No, the show's done. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know if we were still, quote unquote, on the air.
No, we're done.